Hey folks, Tito, Jeff Thitoff here with you. Thanks much for tuning in to the Buckeye Blitz on FanStream Sports, powered by DSP Media. Follow me on Twitter, on the X, @FitHappens, where you can find me. And also, make sure you download the free FanStream Sports app. It is free for Apple and Android users. Go to FanStream Sports, search that app up on your Apple or Android device. You'll be able to find it and download it for free. Get all of our latest programming. We've got a bunch of live things happening now, and just great programming all the time. We're adding new podcasts and things like that. So make sure you go check that out. All right, let's talk about Ohio State football. There was a rumor yesterday, yesterday on Monday, that Brian Hartline was named the new offensive coordinator and play caller for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And it's nothing's finalized yet. There was one erroneous report came out. A lot of people jumped on it and thought that maybe it was going to be true. They haven't announced anything yet. And people point to the fact that on his Twitter bio, it says under Brian Hartline, it says offensive coordinator of The Ohio State University. And everyone thinks that's what it means. No, he was the co-offensive coordinator this year with Ohio State. So technically, yes, offensive coordinator. He was a co-offensive coordinator, but he was an offensive coordinator nonetheless for Ohio State. So nothing's set in stone yet. I said yesterday, I don't think he will get the job. I think that they need to do whatever they can to keep him, because I think he is the next offensive coordinator after this one. This could, again, be a very big stepping stone for somebody who wants to maybe go on to the NFL and get a chance here with this squad and the talent they have coming back. And you can do what Chip Kelly did. Chip Kelly was making $2 million in 2024. You get a $6 million a year contract with the Las Vegas Raiders, become the highest paid offensive coordinator in the game. So I would hire an experienced guy. I said that on my last podcast. I'd hire an experienced offensive coordinator right now. Let Hartline learn under him as well, and then maybe turn over the reins to Hartline after 1 year. And this guy who could end up going on to the NFL or getting a head coaching job somewhere else if he has a good year as an offensive coordinator for Ohio State, and then they give it to Hartline. All right. Spring practice this year is going to start later. No surprise there. They usually start the first week of March is where they usually start. But because they had a 16-game schedule this year, Ryan Day wants to give them a little break, a little breathing room. They're not going to start it until probably, it looks like, actually Ryan Day did say this to Joel Klatt, the second to last week of March this year. So I don't know how it's going to affect the spring game, if it'll affect the date. I got to believe it will. Usually be April 12th would be the date they would have the spring game. It might get pushed out now by a week or two since they're starting a week or two later. So we'll keep an eye on that. I want to get now to the depth chart for upcoming year. Not really depth, just a talent, though, that's going to be with Ohio State this year, because we got National Signing Day coming up on Wednesday, the second one. We had the early signing day one. And there's a couple guys we'll talk about that Ohio State is watching, but I don't think they'll get either one of them. We'll see, though. We'll start with the defensive ends, and you've got Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson Jr. coming back, and those guys they're set up to have a monster year this year. But keep an eye on But keep an eye on Zion Grady. He's a 6'4", 225-pound recruit coming in from the state of Alabama. Ohio State went in there and got him. He's going to have an impact, I believe, this year as well. And we know Ohio State's losing a bunch of people on the defensive end side with Jack Sawyer and JTT. So, but it looks like Curry and Jackson, though, will be the ones that really have the biggest impact this year as far as defensive ends go. Moving over to the defensive tackles, coming in, we got Jarquez Carter, who's a 6'2", 270-pound kid who's coming in as a freshman this year. And but Caden McDonald, Edric Houston's going to have a big role again this year. Look, they've got plenty of talent on the defensive tackle side of things. And so whatever defensive coordinator comes in, he's going to have a lot to work with. At linebacker, so glad Sonny Styles came back for another year. He had such an impact on this team. And again, remember, he was a defensive back for the most part, coming up through high school and whatnot. And then he jumped into the linebacker role full time this year and was fantastic. You've got Arvell Reese back as well. And then you got CJ Hicks. They've got so much depth there at linebacker, I think, this year. Riley Pettijohn's a new guy coming in. He's from the state of Texas. He's 6'2", 215, and he's going to get a lot of play this year as well, I have to believe. Defensive backs, we know it's such a strength for Ohio State last year. Ohio State's starting to feel like they are turning into DBU. They had the best safety tandem in the country last year with Lathan Ransom and Caleb Downs. And Caleb Downs is back again this year, and Malik Hartford's back as well. As far as on the quarterback side of things, you got Davison Igbinosun, who's going to be there back as well. Lorenzo Styles Jr. impressed me last year as well. I think Jermaine Matthews Jr. And Lorenzo Styles Jr. will both get plenty of time there. They also have Devin Sanchez coming in, 6'2", 180-pounder, and he's going to be good as well. As Ohio State continues to their defensive backfield is going to be strong again next year. It's just going to be curious about the type of game plan they're going to have defensively, the scheme they're going to use, and how these guys could get used. Move over to the offensive side of the ball. At the quarterback position, look, it's going to be it's Julian Saint's job to lose. I think it's safe to say that. Lincoln Keenholz will probably be the second-string quarterback starting things off. I'm glad Keenholz stuck around, just another veteran person. You remember Keenholz kind of got the short end of the stick when his most extensive action was in that Missouri game at the Cotton Bowl after Devin Brown got hurt, and Keenholz was not ready for that. But the kid's a phenomenal athlete. I'm glad he stuck around. I think he'll be the backup quarterback when it starts, but keep an eye on Tavion St. Clair. Tavion St. Clair is the incoming freshman, one of the top-ranked quarterbacks, and some scouting publications have him as the top quarterback in the country. 6'4", 225 out of Bell Fountain, Ohio here. He's a beast. And although I don't expect him to start this year, it's going to be Julian Saint's job, I believe. But still, I think that you're going to see St. Clair get some time early in the season, hopefully after the Texas game, when they get to some of the cupcake games and see what he can do. But I'm looking forward to see what he can do in spring practices. Tavion St. Clair is going to be a beast. Running backs, look, Ohio State lost a lot. Losing Trayvon Henderson and losing Quinshon Judkins, big shoes to fill there. But they do have James Peoples. He's 5'10", 203, and he got some play this past season. He's going to get a chance to start to be the number one back. But it's not going to be a 1-2 punch like you have with Henderson and Judkins. They didn't have to lean on their depth too much last year because of the fact Ohio State had both those guys. So Peoples didn't get a lot of play. But you got a couple guys coming in that are really interesting to me. You got Bo Jackson. No, not that Bo Jackson. A different Bo Jackson, no relation, from Cleveland, Villa Angela, St. Joe's. And he's 6'1" and 210, and the kid can fly. I love that size on a running back. James Peoples, like I said, 5'10", 203. Bo Jackson, 6'1", 210 coming in. Who knows what will happen once he gets in there with Mickey Marotti and what they do with him with the nutrition changes and just also with the weight room and everything and what they do for Bo Jackson. He might look a lot different when the season starts up. Also, C.J. Donaldson, he's a tank from West Virginia. He played 3 years at West Virginia, over 2,000 yards rushing. He's 6'2", 238. So that's another hammer. And Donaldson and Bo Jackson are both going to run people over. Peoples 5'10", 203. Again, no slouch there. But Peoples is the only scholarship running back from Ohio State that's coming back this year. Wide receivers, do we need to talk that much about it? You got Jeremiah Smith, who we know is the best returning college football player in the country. And so I can't wait to see another year with him. Julian Saint's best friend, he better be this year. Carnell Tate, you remember you saw him in the Northwestern game really have his breakout game, and he was good all year, though. I like Carnell Tate quite a bit. Brandon Ennis is a damn good number 3. Ohio State's got, I would say, if you look at 1 through 3, I think Ohio State's got the top 3 receiving core. Like if you look at just the depth of those, the most talented ones there. You also have Quincy Porter coming in. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He's from New Jersey. He will be filling that role again as Ohio State continues to be wide receiver university. Over at tight end, Max Clare is transferring from Purdue. He had 51 receptions last year, 4 touchdowns, 685 yards. He was the best, one of the best. I should say the best because obviously Penn State would have something to say about that. But he was one of the best receiving tight ends in the country. We'll see if he continues that. It's not a lot of footballs to go around for Ohio State's offense, but so the tight end usually doesn't get a lot of action as far as catching passes goes, some maybe key situations, but he's going to learn to block better. And what he's going to, and what that does is that makes him more valuable when the NFL draft rolls around after this year. Offensive tackles, it's Deontay Armstrong and Ian Moore coming back in. They had to replace a lot of guys. When you got Josh Simmons, Josh Fryer, Donovan Jackson, all those guys are gone. Even Zen Michalski, he filled in for a while last year. He's also transferring out. But Armstrong and Moore are both redshirt freshmen. They also had Carter Lowe, who's 6'5", 285, kid from Toledo, and he'll get a chance to play right away, I believe, if he shows well in training camp. As far as the guards go, they came on strong at the end of last year. Luke Montgomery is one of those ones, and they didn't bring any more guards in. So I think they're happy with the depth they've got. They've probably got 5 or 6 guys they can rotate in and out of there. And then at the center position, Carson Hinsman is the one who had a great playoff run there as they were shuffling that offensive line around. Carson Hinsman really did a good job there, and I think he'll be the starting center, get the first chance to start. He could also play guard if he needed to. So, all right. That is it for the Buckeye Blitz. That was a lot in 10 minutes. I'm Jeff Thitoff. Follow me on the Twitter, on the X, @ThatHappens. And make sure you download that FanStream Sports app. It's free for Apple and Android users. Go check that out. Make sure you keep tuning into all of our stuff. Hit like, hit subscribe, all those things with FanStream Sports. Have a great day.